Hello, hello, hello. All right, I believe I'm streaming live on YouTube. Give me a sign, YouTube.
Hello, hello.
That's my sign. Okay, so we are live. Hello, hello. My name is Graham, and I am on a mission to reverse type 1 diabetes and share that knowledge with everyone in the world so it is no longer a life sentence. On this video, we are going to go over a new experiment of mine that I have been um, kind of formulating for a while, and it has um, been accumulating in bits of nuggets that we're going to go over here. I say bits of nuggets of wisdom or knowledge, and I'm kind of piecing it together, and it's all kind of pointing in this one direction right now. And so I'm really excited about its prospects. Okay, so um, my experiment is with an extended water fast. Okay, so what is a water fast exactly? A water fast is when you literally only drink water um, during the fasting period. So there's no other things going in your body. There's no other types of liquid. There's no food. It is just water. Okay. Now I've done a couple of these in the past, and the first one was scary because I was not able to do like a 3 day lemon juice cleanse prior to that. A few years before that, that was also pre-diagnosis where I just didn't have sufficient motivation to get through the hunger pangs that go along with it. Um, and since then, I got through the first 5 day water fast, and I was following or trying to replicate results that a doctor from USC was getting with some mice subjects, and that is called the fasting mimicking diet, where the Dr. Longo, instead of using water fasting, he used a calorie restricted diet with highly nutritious foods, and the reduced calories still gave the subjects benefit of doing a water fast. And the only reason he gave them some food instead of doing an actual water fast is that subjects were um, they weren't compliant with the water fast. So he had to kind of figure out a way to get more compliance, but also have the body in a state where it would do its natural healing, which is what his theory was. So he was able to get mice to regenerate their beta cells, which is something I want to go after. So in the past, in 2018, I did 3 rounds of a 5 day water fast, and um, my C-peptides went up by 3/10. Okay, so that's a really good sign. My endo was very happy with that. Um, and let me show you. Let's quickly talk about why fasting potentially is making that happen. So actually, let me structure this a little bit more clear. I've actually written out my thoughts to make this more clear and more scientific, if you will. So, so in general, at the very top here is the hypothesis. Okay, we're doing the scientific method. We're going back to grade school, and I'm really digging into the principles of that going forward, rather than having a couple variables thrown around and trying to get to the ultimate goal. I'm being a little more um, precise with this experiment, and I think it's going to be what I do going forward. Uh, this amount of precision, though, it does take a lot of organization and time and documentation to really put into it, but I think the overall experiment will be better. Okay, so the hypothesis for this upcoming experiment is that an extended water fast with with daily healing prayer, I'll get into all of this, will increase the C-peptide measurement in a subject diagnosed with type 1.5 diabetes. Okay. The reason I specified 1.5 is because a full blown type 1 doesn't produce any insulin. And so their pancreas has been on vacation for a while with no return ticket. Okay. A type 1.5 diabetic is someone who does not produce the normal amount of insulin, but still does produce a small amount of insulin. And so that's the category that I've been labeled. With the ability to increase one's C-peptide measurement, it'll be indicative of regenerating the beta cells in the pancreas. So that's the measurement that I'm going to use to measure the beta cell function. Now, the theory behind this, there's a couple different points, and they're all going to kind of tie in. You're going to see how I kind of came to this. But going back to Dr. Lugo's study, so he used the fasting mimicking diet that has shown, this is an official university study, right? So it has all the controls and all the stuff you would want in an official scientific research. Mine is a little bit looser because I'm not in that setting. But through his study, he found that beta cell regeneration happens in mice after 3 rounds of them using the fasting mimicking diet over a 5-day period. So Dr. Walter D. Longo's conclusions are fourfold from what my notes. The first is that the FMD, fasting mimicking diet, induces prenatal development gene expressed in the adult pancreas. Okay. The FMD promotes NGN3 expression to generate insulin producing beta cells. Cycles of FMD reverse beta cell failure and rescue mice from both type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. Point 4 of Dr. Longo's conclusions is that the FMD, the inhibition of PKA or mTOR promotes NGN3 driven beta cell regeneration in human type 1 diabetic islets. Okay, so all those point to beta cell regeneration. And so that's one of the data points I'm going off of to do this extended water fast. Now, Dr. Longo was doing a series of rounds of 5-day water fasts. I'm going to do more of a longer term in one session water fast, but I am splitting it into 2 sessions. More on that later. So data point number 1 is the FMD study by Dr. Longo. Very good data point for people in general. Now, I also have some data points that are for me specifically. So after I did my mimicking of the FMD, I didn't follow Dr. Longo's protocol. I did something what I believe would be a little bit more extreme, but more effective process, which was instead of doing the FMD diet where you eat a little bit of food, calorie restricted, I did a full-blown water fast for 5 days in 3 rounds in 2018. And my C-peptide numbers after that went up by 0.3 of a point. Okay, so that's data point number 2. My specific, experiment on myself in the past that mimicked the fasting mimicking diet, which was by actually fasting. I guess 2 mimickings are negating themselves here. So by doing a fasting water fast diet, I got the increase that I'm looking for to achieve again in this current experiment that I'm talking about. Okay, so supporting data point number 3 is that my C-peptides went up after doing 3 months on the carnivore and the Paleolithic ketogenic diet, PKD, another 3-letter acronym for a diet. This happened last year in the year 2020. And after that period, my blood test went up. The C-peptides of my blood test went up again by 0.3 of a point. So during this period, I was in during this period, I first started by doing the PKD incorrectly, and I was not in the at the I was eating too many calories, and the major factor here was too much protein, which is then metabolized. The excess protein is metabolized into carbs, and therefore there was carbs coming into my body, which kicked me out of ketosis. And so I was kind of going in and out of ketosis during that period. Once I kind of corrected that and was on the fully prescribed PKD, going through the Paleo Medicina protocol, doing my consultations with them and the 2-week nutritional update, I was in a constant state of ketosis. After going through all of that, my pancreas did register the C-peptides as being higher by 0.3 of a point. I also noticed afterwards, when I reintroduced dietary carbs, that I didn't measure it very well in the beginning, which I do regret, but I did notice that I was able to handle much more carbs with much less insulin. Actually, with no insulin a lot of times. So that was a very promising results, and it's another data point that points to fasting. The water fast is not taking in any food, whereas the PKD did. But both the water fast and the PKD keep you in a ketogenic state. Okay, and we'll talk about why that's important in the next section here. The fourth data point that's leading me to this is that this relates to what I'm going to be pairing the water fast with, which is daily healing prayer. Okay, so people, you've probably seen it on video clips in this day and age. It's great because we have the ability to share things that are remarkable. People have been healed by prayer, completely healed of lifelong, impossible, no cure diseases or ailments, completely cured from prayer, or from a healer that is doing a prayer. Okay. Now, why I'm bringing this up and why I'm tying it into this extended fast is you've probably heard stories from the Bible where people fasted for long periods of time. So Jesus fasted for 40 days. Moses, 40 days. A lot of other people, Matthew, they talk about their fasts and how it increases their ability to speak with God. Okay, so I'm going to be doing an extended water fast. I'm going to be praying for my healing, speaking directly with God, getting aligned with Him on my journey, and the purpose of this that this burden and or opportunity that I've been blessed with. Okay, so fasting paired with prayer is very, very powerful. It amplifies your prayer. Okay, so those are the four supporting data points that I'm using to create this very specific experiment, which is an extended 40-day water fast with daily healing prayer. Okay, now the possible mechanisms of why this works. There's a couple. I have 3 of them written down here, and I probably could come up with a little bit more. But one possible mechanism of how this works is the extended water fasts are known for healing the body of many ailments, just by themselves, separate from the prayer that we just talked about. The extended water fasts are known for healing the body of many ailments, including serious injuries. Some people have used this to reduce tumor sizes in cancer. Okay, very serious things. Water fasting has healed. So what happens in the extended water fast is the subject goes into a state of autophagy. And autophagy is defined as a regulated mechanism of the cell that removes unnecessary or dysfunctional components. It allows the orderly degradation and recycling of cellular components. Okay, There's a few high syllable words in there. Okay. The way I'm interpreting that and my understanding over hearing it talked about from a lot of different experts, particularly the fasting, is that it's autophagy is a state of your body when you're not digesting food. And so your body tries to get energy from other sources than the nutrients coming in through your digestive tract. And one of the ways it does it is it finds cells that are weak, and it will recycle them and use them for energy. It will find dead cells and use them for energy because they still have some components that can be used. It also will allow the immune system to target things that are outside of your digestive tract. Okay, which is really an important key, because when you're constantly digesting with 3 meals or so a day, your immune system has to be on high alert and focused on all the nutrients coming through your intestines, right, as they go into the bloodstream. So if you're able to slow that down and turn it off, right, your body can then turn its focus into a different area, right? What is ailing? What do I need to do to optimize this body so that it can receive food again? That's kind of what I think from a survival, evolutionary perspective. Okay, so this mechanism, this first mechanism, is the body is self-healing, um, and this self-healing will heal the pancreas and regenerate the beta cells. So if the cause of this autoimmune disease is a bacteria or a virus or fungus or parasite or something that is in my body, my immune system, and through the process of autophagy, will be able to focus on and get rid of, like, kill and get rid of and detoxify out whatever that cause is, if it's one of those things. So that could be one reason. And then with that thing gone, that thing not attacking the beta cells will then be able to regenerate and restore and produce more insulin. Okay. Now, possible mechanism number 2 is the extended water fast rests the digestive system and switches the subject's body into ketosis, where fat is metabolized for energy. Since the glucose is not being introduced into the system through dietary carbs or protein, insulin is not needed, and thus the pancreas is not triggered to produce any insulin. This allows the beta cells to rest. The rest of the beta cells might be the mechanism that allows it to regenerate more beta cells. So that once you come off of that rest, you have more ammunition or more beta cells to produce insulin with. Okay, that's the second mechanism, possible mechanism. The third possible mechanism here is that water fasting increases the power of prayer, making it easier for the subject to request and receive gifts of healing. Okay, the Bible states many times to be still when honoring or praying, and when honoring God or praying. Fasting is a literal manifestation of stillness, as the digestive system is at rest. There's less things going on through the main core of your body, right? Your whole stomach and intestines, from your, the top of the bottom of your chest all the way down to your butt, right? The main part of your trunk is digestive system. And if you are able to kind of slow that system down, turn it off, let it rest, there's less physical activity going on in your body. There's less noise, and you can be more still. The level of stillness is amplified. It goes up, right? So the subtraction of all that activity and noise can be the addition, the amplitude of your spiritual prayer, the declarations that you make, and your ability to receive God's gifts. Okay? Now, all these factors together, one or multiple of these factors, these possible mechanisms, I'm calling them, would result in the subject's pancreas to be able to produce more insulin. And this will be measured by the C-peptide blood test. Okay, so the experiment that I'm going to do here. So I talked about the theory, what I just covered kind of at length, and I apologize for the length of this video, but I'm going to get, like I said, more specific and scientific around what I'm doing and why. So all of that was the theory that would happen to have my hypothesis become true. Now, the actual experiment, these are the details of what I'm going to be doing to test this, okay? So the activity that I'm going to be doing is a water-only fast for 40 days within the 3 months between my regular City of Hope blood tests, okay? However, I'm not going to go from doing a 5-day water fast in the past to a 40-day water fast in a straight succession of days. So I'm actually going to split it up this time. Just the way my personal schedule is. We have a family vacation. I don't want to be in the middle of, an intense water fast during that time, just to reduce risk for, medical complications and all of that. So one, for the family vacation. Two, because of the significant jump between the 5-day water fast to a 40-day, and to reduce the possible need for medical intervention with a straight 40-day water fast in general. I'm going to split these 40 days up into 2 sessions with some recovery time in between. Okay, so my fasting schedule is going to be, I'm going to do, starting next week, I'm going to do a 7-day water fast, which will be my longest water fast ever. Then I'm going to have a couple of refeeding days. I'm going to have 3 refeeding days, and then 7 days of normal eating, and giving my body some my metabolism some carbs to use for energy. And then I'm going to start my road trip. It's a 7-day road trip, and I'm going to start my next phase of the fast, my second phase of the fast, on the first day. So I'm going to be fasting during my 7-day road trip, and I'm going to continue the fast when I return until either a few things happen. Either I reach my 40 days total, which is my the goal that I'm striving for, or I feel reasons to have that stopped for other reasons. Like I experienced true hunger, which is a different form of hunger, which your body says, yo, you need food right now. Stop this ridiculous experiment, right? So experiencing true hunger and be in tune with that. And I should post another video on that. If I need some form of medical intervention, other than that, I'll stop fasting. Or if I lose a specific amount of weight, where if I feel like if I'm going to lose more, I'm going to increase my risk for that medical intervention. So right now, I'm weighing about 160 pounds, and I'll document this specifics when I start my water fast. And so if I go back down to 100, if I go below 140, that'll be my mark. The reason I'm saying 140, which sounds ridiculous and I would have not believed myself a year ago, is that I did get down to 138 pounds while going through my carnivore and PKD experiment last year. I felt fine. I had plenty of energy. When I was doing PKD right, I had insane amounts of energy. It felt amazing. But I was eating 350 grams of fat a day. And I think if I would have done PKD right from the beginning, because what happens is your body, it will lose some weight, that's natural, and then it will get into homeostasis while doing the PKD. And that's when you don't lose weight anymore. And your body's like, this is the way I am, this is how my metabolism is going to be, and it optimizes for that. And so then you can start working out again, et cetera, et cetera. So I think I messed that up, and so I just was in a state where I just lost more weight. I extended it out accidentally. So anyway, I know I can get there and be okay. So that's what I'm going to say. If I drop below 140, I'm gonna pause, because that's the point where I don't feel comfortable going too far below that, especially if I'm not eating anything. So those are my three. Those are the reasons, three or four, I forget, 3 or 4 reasons that I'm going to be breaking a fast, and I'll do better at documenting that. Um, and again, the way we're going to measure if this experiment is positive or negative is my C-peptide. So if I achieve a 3/10 uptick in my C-peptide, then I'm going to deem this a success. If I receive 1 or 2, I'm going to put that in the maybe section. And if I get 0 or less, I'm going to say it's not effective. Okay. Now, before my blood test, I'm also going to have a refeeding, uh, over a week of refeeding, where I'm going to do, the broths and a lot of the gentle stuff to warm up my digestive tract, and then I'm going to have at least one day of normal food consumption. Right now, I'm intending to go back to the whole food plant-based diet, um, but potentially I might be doing the PKD, depending on where things are at, and I will define this more clearly as I go forward. But basically, it's about getting nutrients back into my body to recover from the extended water fast. And the reason you want to do that before taking a non-stimulated C-peptide reading is because if you are in that fasting state, and I have my own data point for this, if you're in a fast, your C-peptide levels are going to be lower because you haven't been using any insulin. So I did a 5-day water fast and then had my blood taken, and it was my lowest C-peptide ever, which is really interesting. And it's because of that. So your C-peptide level measures the insulin that has been used in your body. It's like a side effect of insulin in your body. Okay, so I'm gonna have at least one day of regular eating on probably a whole food plant-based diet before my blood test. My blood test does need to be a fasting blood test, but that's a 12-hour fast and not any kind of extended fast. Really, it's all about don't eat the morning before your blood test, pretty much. Okay, and so that is the experiment, the extended water fast experiment that I'm going to be doing in the summer of 2021. I'm very excited about it. I think you see the logic that's gone into this and how it's going to work. I think that even though I'm splitting it up, I think it's going to be it should be as effective or more than the 15 total water fast days that I did previously, uh, mimicking the fasting mimicking diet. And 40 total days versus 15 total days, right? I don't know if it will more than double the results. Potentially it will. And then anecdotally, I've been speaking with I spoke with a friend over the weekend who has his own testimonies to doing cleanses. So not a water fast, but different types of cleanses, which are fasting from most things. He did citrus fasts. He's done some kind of like watermelon fast and different things like that, or cleanses. And he has testimonies from himself and from his friends that did it with him, where after you're in this extended part of that, like you're getting between days 14 and 30, where your body, the level of healing that happens to your body is taken up a notch. And I'm not going to get into the crazy stories because maybe I'll have him explain it. I think that would be better. But there were some very wild stories, and I think that is very promising for what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm gonna probably start a podcast for all those stories and have the you can hear it from the horse's mouth instead of me trying to retell it and, you know, missing bits and pieces through the game of telephone. So anyway, be on the lookout for that. It's something that is on my heart to start very soon. Okay, so that's it, guys. This is my next experiment for 2021. I'm gonna show you. Let me show you some data. Actually, I forgot this. I need to show you some data that I have. So, what you're seeing here is are my lab results. Okay, so my labs from 2018 on down to my most recent one, 2021 in May. And you can see I have a couple things I'm measuring for my reversal of type 1 diabetes is the C-peptides, my body's ability to generate insulin, and also the autoimmune response, which my doctor is measuring between GAD and islet cell AB IgG. So while the IgGs are mostly normal, less than 1:4 ratio is normal. The GADs are mostly so high that they cannot be measured. Okay, I believe normal is it's either single digits or single tenths of digits. I forget the exact. But you can see we're very far from that, even on the lower readings. Okay, now you look at this. So between the 22nd, February 22nd and May 29th of 2018, I did my 3 5-day water fasts, and I went from a C-peptide of 0.6 to a C-peptide of 0.9. Okay. After that, I went down in C-peptide, stayed about flat. I did a C-peptide measurement while on the 5th day of my 5-day water fast, and it was the lowest it's ever been for the reasons I told you, where there's no insulin being produced, so it should be a lower reading. Then I did PKD for 3 months, and which kept my body in ketosis, right? And slowed down my digestion. I was only eating 350 grams a day, split over 2 meals. So my C-peptide then went from a 0.2 to a 0.5. Okay. And I came off of that and went back to a whole food plant-based diet for a few months. And you can see my C-peptide did go up by 1/10, and then it's gone down by 3 recently. And I think the reason it's gone down is my less than perfect management of my blood sugars. So I think that I've been using my beta cells more than I ever have since managing the diabetes. Okay, so we'll see here on where I'm trying to do, it might be the 27th of August, or it might be the following week. I'm still scheduling this, but it's going to be right around then. We should see us get up from a 0.3 C-peptide to a 0.6 or higher after these this extended water fast. I'm really excited about that. And where we are at for the year here, this is my yearly calendar, as we're entering this section here for it's my second quarter of the year for my blood test. They're not lined up with the calendar that well. But you can see this is my 40-day, my biggest experiment here is the 40-day water fast. I will be, I have not been doing my sunrise and sunset hours for the natural light. I'm going to attempt to add that back into my schedule and add all the natural sunlight additions. I am unclear if I'm going to add ozone. I think I will not do ozone during my water fast, just because I want to reduce the factors here. I think I will do ozone depending on the conclusions. I will do ozone later this year. If the water fast is inconclusive, or less than inconclusive. If the water fast does not move my C-peptides at all, or that my C-peptides go down, then I will try something different. If it's neutral or above, I might try it again. And I might add ozone on that second round, depending on the results. I want to have a little more control of my variables, and I feel very strongly that we will get good results from the water fast. This is my yearly calendar here. Yeah, so that's that, guys. Thank you for watching. Now, if you're curious about some of the things that I talked about, that I said I'm going to go into more details later in other videos, and you want to make sure you don't miss out on those videos, that's why you subscribe to channels on YouTube. So go ahead and click subscribe. If you found value in this, please like and share this with someone you think would either benefit from it, or someone's opinion share with someone whose opinion you value as input for yourself as you are learning alongside me on this journey to reverse type 1 diabetes. And if you sound or know that you are as crazy as I am and you want to do experiments on yourself safely to reverse type 1 diabetes, let me know. More minds are better than one, as crazy as it sounds. And I'm putting together a team, a community that is going to figure this out. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know that you want to join, and we'll figure out how to get connected. And we're going to put this community together, and we're going to figure it out. I'm very 100% confident that we will figure it out. I don't know if I'm going to be the number one person, but once I figure it out, once it works on myself, I will be sharing that with everybody, and we will crush this disease into the history books, never to be seen again. Okay, that's the plan, master plan, to get it off of us, get it out of us, and allow these children and now adults to be free of this disease. All right, guys, if you want to join me, again, comment, like it so more people searching for similar content can find it. Leave a comment if you like the video or if you have a question, and I will see you very soon in the next video.